Hello, hello, we are live. Welcome to the celebration of Ethereum. Ethereum has been out there for almost 10 years. It has personally given me a lot, and I'm pretty sure it has given a lot of other builders a lot. Vice versa, builders are constantly providing value to Ethereum, and our job is to celebrate Ethereum by celebrating the builders. And we have two amazing builders and yappers in the space. We have one more person joining theoretically, but he's stuck on train, so we'll wait for him. If not, we'll continue. But we have Viper, who is an unofficially unpaid intern at Banker, and we have Vishal, who works in the crypto scene, and in the spare time, he builds and hacks amazing mini apps. So today we're gonna get like their personal stories, and we're gonna get more demos from them, and we're gonna talk about how agents and mini apps are changing the surface of why crypto is better suited for the next revolution in the context of new surface versus everyone else. So we'll get opinions, we'll get thoughts, but meanwhile, how are you guys doing, Viper and Vishal?
Great.
Doing awesome,
Thanks for-
Vishal. Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great.
Amazing, amazing. Just a story, like I think Vishal originally is from GTA as well. Viper is around GTA, so this is becoming a Toronto podcast in a way, like broadcasting out in the world. I'm in Toronto as well, so it's a funny thing. Absolutely. Until Sam joins, or if Sam decides to give, this is a Toronto broadcasting to the world.
Nice.
However, I want to know your personal stories. I'll start with you, Vishal. Like, how was your entry? When did you hear about Ethereum in the past, first time, and what was your thought? And how did you start getting more involved in Ethereum?
Yeah, the first time I heard about it was actually in 2014. So fun fact,
Wow.
Vitalik went to Waterloo around the time that I was there. My friends
Shit.
and I actually organized, we were big in the hackathon scene. And we started a hackathon at Waterloo called Hack the North. And that was around the time that Vitalik had actually...
That was you guys? I remember seeing Hack the North. That's a fantastic job.
Yeah. My friends and I helped get that kickstarted. It's been going strong, actually. I think it's like almost 10 years since it's still running.
It is.
So yeah, we started the first one, and at that time, my friends were pretty deep into crypto, and they actually brought Vitalik on as a judge. And I was barely into Bitcoin. I had no idea what Ethereum was, and I still really couldn't wrap my head around it. And so I kind of went the traditional tech route. 2017, learned more about Bitcoin, learned more about Ethereum. But it was only until the 2021 bull run when I got into NFTs. In particular, NBA Top Shot was kind of my entry into the overall space. And so that's when I came on full-time into crypto.
Oh, okay. And what part of it is that basically triggered you to spend more time in crypto slash Ethereum versus anywhere else? Like, what was your aha moment if you had one?
I think it was the consumer applications. I mean, I know that NFTs, a lot of them were speculative, but at least Top Shot, what was fascinating about it was seeing the developer ecosystem like build up around it permissionlessly. So Top Shot had like a lot of tools and builders, creators that were kind of just like, built overnight around it. And I found the fact that the data itself was open, permissionless, programmable to be super fascinating. Granted, that was in the Flow ecosystem, but naturally I learned Solidity in Ethereum and saw the power of it as it expanded everywhere.
Wow. Okay. Well, while I want to ask you about your first application that you built, I'm going to switch to Viper to basically get his personal story into crypto, into Ethereum, and then we'll jump into more. Go ahead. Please take over, Viper.
Yeah, for sure. So I think my journey with Ethereum starts probably early 2021. I'm going to guess February. And that's kind of when NFT, like I read about it, I heard about it, and it was very intriguing to me. I like pressing buttons that are kind of neat to technology. So I took I love photography. So I've, taken many, many images over the years. So I just took one. And from there, I put it up on chain. I remember getting to pick between OpenSea and Rarible. And there wasn't.
I was about to ask which platform did you use?
Yeah. And I just thought Rarible was a better name. Like that was like the bulk of the DYOR at that point. And I threw it up on Rarible just to try. right? And it was really, really interesting. I think moving a little bit forward was the BAYC mint was going on. I thought, okay, cool. I'll get one of these monkey things. And so I spent on the site. I'm trying to click, and it's like you're reserved to some OX. All the ones that I liked, I couldn't get, and I'm like, I give up. So I think the lesson there is don't stop clicking. Don't give up if you're frustrated, because there might be something there.
Get the monkey. It values more.
Yeah, get the monkey or whatever that may be, right? There's lots of examples of that, but don't give up, because I didn't know what I was doing at that point in time. I was just pressing buttons, but I wish I would have been a little bit more adamant to make it all the way through and taken any of the monkeys. But
yeah,
I think that was really interesting. My first Web3 community, I heard Top Shot. For me, I liked Vivi. I liked photography. I thought the AR aspect of it was really interesting. So that was my first kind of introduction into the NFT scene. And then on Ethereum was Slacker Duck Bond. And I thought that was the technology behind that project. I thought was really interesting. Like, you got an ENS, it's associated back to your number. There was like dress up your duck tools, and these were kind of new and novelty. And then there was a metaverse that had come out, and that dev I thought was really cool. Right, it didn't take off and it didn't run, but the technology behind it was really interesting. Then I found
absolutely.
I really I think I enjoy more than just necessarily a JPEG. There is like, I want to see some technology behind what we're doing, and not just like, no shade at art, because I have a lot of art. But I mean, if the NFT is supposed to do something, I think it should function on the blockchain. And there's just so many great opportunities to be able to like showcase what Ethereum can do through the NFT kind of channel.
I completely agree. Like, when NFT came about, like, it was more about like the collectible, but later on the utilities were explored. I think they are super underutilized, but I think there is not much demand as well. So it's more like solution looking for a problem, or hammer looking for a nail. But this is a strong hammer, and when problems appear and there is a list of problems, we already have a strong hammer to nail it with, right? So appreciate it. We have Sam. Thank you for joining, Sam. I hope you're okay, bro.
Yeah, I'm good. I had a German train delay that I wasn't able to circumvent. So I somehow found some internet here in Zurich in the train station.
No worries, man. I hope you're safe, and thanks for joining. We were just getting started, and wanted to ask you about like, what was your introduction to crypto? What was your introduction to Ethereum? And I want to know your story.
It fits perfectly with the current topic on NFTs, because in 2020, an entrepreneur in the US called Gary Vaynerchuk was running around and telling people, hey, NFTs is going to be this new big thing. And I was like, okay, Gary, sure. But then he was like, yeah, so I'm going to bring out...
Did you go to the conference?
Yeah. He was like, I'm going to go 3-year conference. It's going to be $1,800. All you have to do is just hold some ETH and then buy it. And I'm like, wait, $600 per ticket for a Gary Vaynerchuk conference, meaning a highly curated set of people, I'm down. And that's how I got into NFTs. And that community started asking questions. And I was the only one like technical there, because my background before that, I tried to mine some Ethereum in 2016, but I then quickly reverted back to playing video games, because my GPU usage was supposed to be gaming and not mining.
I know what you mean.
So yeah, and then Gary just got me into that through that community, and people started asking questions, and I was like, well, guess I'm the techie, guess I'll research what I just bought for like almost $2,000. And then I started realizing, wait, so coming from the IT security background I now have a computer that I don't need to trust. That's super interesting. Because if you're in IT security, the only thing you talk about on a daily basis is trust assumptions, meaning if this goes wrong, what happens? Well, okay, so we trust this system to be safe. Why? What other system do we trust to be safe? And if it's like, well, the only thing we trust is that the economic incentives around Ethereum are good, then our code will run. That's way better than trusting anyone else to be like, yeah, this is just, we trust them to run the software we tell them to run. Great.
Absolutely. I always say, like, this is a trust-based system where you don't have to trust anyone, right? That's how it works.
The only problem I then discovered later, because I then started building smart contracts, also NFT contracts, and then you stumble up onto the Oracle problem, namely that, hey, we now have all of this cool blockchain stuff where we do transactions, we have NFTs, we have all this cool thing, but I'm now sitting in a train station. If I want to pay for a train ticket and my train is delayed, I should get auto refunded because we can do it instantly within one Ethereum block of it being public that the train is delayed by enough for me to get a partial or a full refund. Well,
Good point.
but how does the blockchain learn that the train is delayed?
Yeah.
And that problem, and like, yes, technically the rail company could do it, but then we could also say, well, we don't trust the rail company because then we can just use their system and use blockchain just for payments. We don't need smart contracts besides for payments. Well, if we then say, well, we don't trust the rail company, we want to remove that trust, then everyone else should be able to vote if is that train delayed or not. But well, I'm on that train. Even if the train is on time, I have an economic incentive to vote that it's delayed.
It's delayed.
And then what typically happens in blockchain is we're like, yeah, we'll just add rewards for being honest. Well,
Absolutely.
but where do the rewards come from? The train company isn't paying you to say that it's on time or not. They have a support system. And like, unless you can say that you full on automate their support system, why would they put even a cent towards that? Because their support is cheaper, unless it's full on automated and you give them a margin, and then that margin could be the rewards, right? And then is that high enough? So like those kind of problems then started quickly chewing up. And that's my Ethereum story basically, and I'm still stuck on trying to solve those problems mentally.
No, I love that. Like you're basically focused on the context of like how we can create the best tokenomics so that everyone has the correct incentive to increase more adoption. So that's the right way to think about it. Love it. Love it. Would love to jump into demos. And Sam, I know we may lose you anytime because of internet. Hopefully not. But if that's the case, then do you want to go first in showing me the demo of the applications that we have built in DeFi and mini apps?
Can I screen share on mobile through this thing?
Ooh, that's gonna be tough.
Because I only see recordings, comments, and settings.
I don't know. That's
because my laptop Wi-Fi wasn't good enough to get into the show. Though if you have a Farcaster account, so you can also demo.
Okay, you know what? I'll demo for you. Let's see how that's gonna go. You tell me where to click, and I'll click on your behalf.
Yeah, you can just deposit like a dollar or some ETH into the Morpho mini app. That one is fun because we were just talking about security assumptions. And if you want to go to a bank and get interest, well, in the US, great idea. Here in Switzerland, great idea. Unless you went to Credit Suisse, but they got bailed out.
That's fair. All right, let's go. So
now we're getting into
what we are going to do is you're going to tell me where to click and everything, and we'll find your mini app.
Nice. You just go into the mini apps. Unless you have added it already, which I'm not sure, you can just scroll into the top mini apps. There should be one called Morpho. Yep, earn on Morpho. You can just click that.
Perfect.
And the cool thing to me about this works globally and on mobile. So if you select ETH or USDC, whatever you have, USDC being the easier one, then you quickly see that we pre-selected two options for you to choose Moonwell or the Gauntlet vaults. Vaults meaning this is literally just a collection of assets, which on the main Morpho page, you can look up the full asset composition. And you're now in DeFi getting 7% yield if you pick the Moonwell one. And we only made one click in the mini app. Now you're able to just say, okay, yeah, whatever, pick one USDC, 10, whatever. I still haven't updated to 7702, so you have to do two transactions.
Two transactions, okay.
We should get to one. And then there's a second one. And finally, we're talking about NFTs. You could technically do issuance of deliveries, because there's a real-world delivery happening in the train station. And you could issue the certificate of delivery as an NFT, full on track, and do all of the fulfillment out of that. Then you're back to the problem of who certifies it. Yes, that's as easy as that. You've now just deposited into Morpho. The really cool thing here is you're now earning 7%. So you're getting 70 cents a year on that $10. The cool thing is you're now quickly able to share that on Farcaster where other people just like you, within 20 seconds or less, can do the same, and that works globally. So yes, 7% on your
Interesting.
USDC is a lot even in Europe. It's
It is.
definitely a lot if you're in Nigeria and you're getting $5 from the Farcaster team for posting good content once a week. And now you're getting 7% on that, and you don't have banking access, but you have access to the blockchain. And that's what really cool to this and what Ethereum enables. And that to me is great. And now
Gotcha.
you're
So
able
I
to
have to just
withdraw
go
that as
inside
well.
deposit and then click on withdraw, and that's
Yes,
where I can
and
withdraw as well. So I'm gonna just try
yes,
withdrawal for the sake of it. And
yes. Withdraw,
withdraw, I
just
have to pick it.
yes, go max. You can go all of it, withdraw $10, and you're out. This is, I have to optimize that. That's the share count. Morpho represents it in shares.
No, it's all
So,
good, man.
so you're getting your 10 USDC, and you're
Super
done.
easy.
And the cool thing is this works with the Morpho contracts on Ethereum below it. So if you go to app.morpho, like the main web page, you get all of the listings, you get the full details, which is just another front end for the same set of smart contracts, right? Like going back to security
Gotcha.
assumptions, if you don't trust me to do this mini app, but you found it because somebody shared it on Farcaster because they trusted it, or they just deposited $10 and not 10,000, you're now familiar with Morpho. You can use another front end to look at the vault, to do analysis and whatever. And I had people reaching out to me and being like, hey, I really like the mini app. It's super simple. It worked with $100. I now want to deposit 5,000. Can I look up what you're doing before I'm doing this? And
Yeah,
then I was
yeah.
like, yeah, go to the Morpho main page, take your time, reach through the asset descriptions and do it there. And then they got their full like bank level debrief of all the assets in the different vaults. And then they're like, okay, cool. I have 5,000 on the Warpcast wallet. Let me just deposit it through the mini app. I can show you the transaction. It actually happened. It's crazy.
That is amazing. So how do I basically go here and like I can see the transaction here. I click on view transaction, it shows up
Yep.
here, right here. So it's on chain where everything is happening. In order for me to do this on Morpho, I'll have to connect the Warpcast wallet, correct?
If you want to use the same wallet, yes, that's where it gets tricky. Warpcast wallet only works in a mini app.
Yeah, at the moment.
But
Or you have to basically use the seed phrase to load it inside
yes,
something else.
yeah, privy EOA, export it, get it out, get it into another wallet extension. Be very careful what
Yeah.
you're doing there, though. I do not recommend seed phrase exports unless you exactly know for what reason you're doing it
What are you
and you're
doing?
not being watched. No,
Absolutely.
but then
Or
you can
getting
do the
caved
same
or
thing there.
anything around that.
Yeah, now you can quickly, if you were to go there and go on earn, you would do the same flow that we just did, just more complex, more information. And that to me is really cool. Like a lot of the transactions we see in there are $1 to $10 in like dollar equivalents. Some are ETH, right? And that means we're reaching people that just want to play around with it, learn it, get familiar with it, or just have like a few bucks that they now earn interest on that otherwise would inflate away because they're in a country that doesn't have the dollar as the main currency or the euro, right? Or the Swiss franc in this case.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I have a couple of follow items. Like why people would go to mini app versus going to Morpho itself. And two, is
Yes,
this
good
more
question.
like a lead gen for Morpho itself? Because this will create amazing leads because most people won't know about Morpho, but because of me using it and because it was so easy for me to use as part of Farcaster, and because the other social flywheels are built in, is it more lead generation for Morpho? I mean,
Well,
sorry.
yeah, let's tackle the second one first because that ties into the first question of why would you even use it inside of Farcaster? Well, how did you just discover it? Well, okay, we talked about it, right? Now you posted it. So people who follow you, who see that post, are now maybe discovering Morpho for the first time. So, well, why would they use it inside of Farcaster? Because, well, maybe they have a balance on their Farcaster wallet that is connected there, they can just quickly do it, and in 20 seconds, they're now earning inside of Morpho, and they tried it. Is that lead gen? Obviously. Does that also mean that if you're a big user, like maybe you have 50,000, maybe you have a few million in Morpho, well, does that mean you get reminded that Morpho exists and you may want to deposit more, or you tried it initially and then you set it up with more money on the main webpage? Yes. Why would you use it inside of the mini app? Well, because those 3 clicks are easier than to even figure out which wallet to connect on web. Right?
Absolutely.
And don't get
Absolutely.
me started
So
on using anything on mobile.
no, absolutely, absolutely. I have so many more questions regarding mini apps, but before that, I
Oh,
want to
dude,
give get
that's
get
mini
get
apps is
through a
my
couple
full-time
other.
job. So
No, absolutely. We'll come to that. But like for now, I want to get like a demos from Vishal and Viper as well. And so I'll start presenting. Uh, so Vishal here has built a couple of mini apps himself, and I want to get his demos. Just a second, though. I want to tell the viewers what we are trying to do and ask them to share. Hey guys, anyone is watching this? We are celebrating ETH's 10 years anniversary. ETH has given a lot of things to a lot of us in the ecosystem, and we're just trying to celebrate the 10 years of awesome builders combined and everything around that. So today we have awesome builders like Sam, Vishal, and Viper, and we're gonna get demos on their mini apps, their agents, and we are trying to understand where builders should be spending more time to get early traction to their apps, and what are the new open surfaces for them to build. Sam just demoed his mini app for Morpho, which is a way for you to earn your interest or yield on your treasury, and how we converted that quickly into a mini app for Farcaster. So next we have Vishal. Vishal has 2 small mini apps that he wants to demo. Vishal, take over.
Let's do it. Yeah, so the first one I'll show is actually one that I built just 2 days ago. The problem that I was trying to solve is I just really hate faucets as a developer. The most annoying thing is that they make you like hold mainnet ETH in order to get testnet ETH, or make you sign up for a service. And I get it, right? They're trying to protect against civil attacks and people draining the wallet, but it's just really frustrating whenever I'm trying to get testnet funds to like deploy a contract or like verify something. So yeah, I built FarFaucet, which is a easy way to grab testnet funds using the Nanar score. So effectively what it does is it simply just checks whether you have a high enough score, which again is pulled from things like your activity on Farcaster, casting, liking, who you're following, all that kind of stuff. And then it lets you through if you're in. So in this case, I'll go and grab some ETH. The other cool thing is it grabs your wallet pretty easily. Small thing, but often when I'm trying to use testnet faucets, like I always forget where my wallet is or which one I should connect with. Luckily, Warplet is here. And that's pretty much it. And the other cool thing is, because this is on Farcaster, it easily pulls in all your social data. So, the idea here is obviously as a fun thing, like you can see who else is claiming, but also this is a community product, right? This is really just for everybody. And so, you should use it sparingly, only if you actually need it, and not try to, just grab tokens. But yeah, that's pretty much the essence of it.
Cool. I have one question before you show me your another famous app. But like in terms of this, like where are you sourcing the faucet funds from?
There were a few people that helped me out. Right now, I think I put in like 2 base Sepolia ETH, but again, this is a community project, so like if somebody has funds, I'm going to reach out to the base team as well. But like,
yes, make sure you send me the address of the faucet, and we can get a few hundred on there.
a few hundred. Wow.
There we go.
Let's do it. That's my source.
Yeah, that's
There
not
you
a
go.
problem. Dude,
Amazing.
I just love seeing a faucet where I don't have to have 0.1 ETH on my developer wallet that I just created to use the testnet with on mainnet.
Yes, it's so painful.
No, man, that's a problem. Like just fun fact, like when I was running a development agency roughly 5 years ago, we also built a multi-chain faucet where like the faucet is one of the things builders use every now and then. But I think what you mentioned is pretty good. We had an email verification faucet, so that's how we made sure that we don't have spammers. So as long as they put the email, we send them a link, and that one link would have the claim button for them to do it on the other side. But again, there are different ways to build this process, and I appreciate you building inside Farcaster, where I can just click a button and now it's gone to my wallet itself. So super handy. Second app, I want to see your second app too.
Yeah, so this is one I built been a couple months ago, but the idea here was I wanted a fun game on Farcaster, one that I would want to play. So I built FarGuessr, which, if you guys are familiar with GeoGuessr, basically the idea is that it shows you a location, a Google Street View of some random place on the planet. I actually haven't played today, so we're going to do this together. And you got to figure out within 30 seconds where this is.
Oh my God.
I am actually not good at my own game, so...
I'm terrible at this. It looks like something Europe or
France?
Washington.
France? I have no idea. This is bad. I'm gonna...
Same.
All right, whatever.
Okay, put something randomly.
This is gonna be terrible.
Let's see how terrible it is. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, that wasn't... Wow,
Yeah.
I'm a Canadian.
Is it Washington?
No, it's not. Oh, that was New England, Boston.
What?
Oh.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna go with Washington or Paris.
Yeah, I
have
guess
to
it was
guess.
probably... yeah, I think it was a revolution. I don't know. The hat threw me off on that guy.
Yep,
yeah.
I thought it was a French one too with the hat.
Yeah, right? So yeah, that's the core idea. You can see everyone else's score on Farcaster. It's actually really cool. There's a good amount of people that play pretty consistently. Yeah, that's the core idea. You can mint it if you like your score. People are minting today, and it's...
What does the mint give me? Like, can you mint and see? Like, is it more like you pay 5 cents and it just mints?
Yeah, so you just pay a fixed amount of ETH. I think I forget what the amount is, but basically you just get your score on chain. I actually built another game. It was a little basketball mini game when Frames first came out.
I know the flip one.
Yeah, and I learned from that people actually really like minting their score. So
Yeah, they do.
And I was not charging at the time. That was just a free mint. So that's why I put this one here. Again, it's all optional. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but some people like recording their score and making sure that it's immortalized forever.
Absolutely. No. Like, it's people like to boast about their success. So this is perfect. So I have one question, and we'll go to Viper right after that for his demo. But Vishal, how many players play daily, and how do you get the people back to your mini app on a regular basis?
Yeah, so at the peak of launch, I think I had close to 5 to 1,000 players playing every day. Right now, it's gone down. It's probably closer to like 50 to 100. But the way to bring people back, so it's interesting. I built a notification feature into this product where it would let you know every day when there's a new location. And funny enough, right after launch, it broke because I didn't do the code properly, and I like literally had mismanaged the database, and the notification feature broke. Yet my like usage kept going like this, and I was like, "What is happening?" And it turned out that there were a lot of people that were sharing out the game every day. People that I knew, but then I just searched my game and I saw other people that I weren't following on Farcaster, people I didn't know at all, were just sharing the game. And so to answer your question, I mean, there's a lot of tools at your disposal, but definitely making something shareable is the easiest way to get retention and engagement in your mini app.
That's amazing. That's a good nugget for everyone else, saying that, hey, build the flywheels. Like Sam also had the share button right away, and you also have it there. So super helpful. Let's get a demo from Viper.
Adding on the share thing just real quickly. We were able to do like 2,000 pull-up collections and a few hundred on the Pectra mint to support like 1-2 DAOs that are doing like public goods funding, just from people sharing and wanting to collect a low artwork. So like sharing really, really goes a long way.
That's amazing. No, that is super helpful. All right, Viper, I want to see the AI agent. So far, we have seen a mini app, but this is an agent interface. So take over, sir.
Let me see if I can get this set up. I really enjoyed your guys' demos. I'm going to go and try. I hadn't seen FarGuessr. I'm going to go and touch that one, but I love pressing the fun buttons over and over.
Perfect.
Present share screen. You got her?
All right. Yep, it's shared as well. Let's go.
So here's really just, you've opened up your X. Now you're just talking to Banker. So I would just start with, hey, Banker, let's buy $100. And then you can type your ticker. You can even just use words. Like you don't have to put the dollar there. No, he's going to go back and he's going to execute that. So there is X number of dollars in my Privy wallet, and my Privy wallet was created on X by Banker automatically. Now that money that's sitting in there is able to just be transferred. So we can kind of do the same thing of, Banker, what is in the wallet? And he will give.
It's funny that you're saying our wallet instead of my wallet.
You know what? I didn't even think that. Yeah, you're right though. I do think of it as our wallet because you guys were talking in seed phrases. I have no clue what the seed phrase is. Nor right. To me, I think the end game is here's $100. Like go and win. I just want to give the bot the money to be able to go out and do the TA actually and look at the sentiment that's going on the blockchain at that point in time. Look at what's doing on socials and trade for me. Like
fair. Totally makes sense.
Very confident that a bot can do it better than I am. So how I kind of found, Deployer and Banker and that entire ecosystem was on Farcaster. So like huge shout out over there. I think it was February 2024. I was going through and that's when we could there was in the top right, you could kind of click and see what mints were doing that day. And there was a reverse Dutch auction mint for an NFT that was going to be burnable for a meme coin. That just sounded cool to me. So I had to mint it, and it was like a couple of bucks, or they were all really cheap. So I did mint a couple of those, and that ended up being the LP for TN100X, which was ham and very Farcaster. So I think that we were very big in that ecosystem. I had no clue who Deployer was at that point in time. Then he put out this baked ham thing. And you could basically kind of like what Morpho is there. You could put some money in and then be able to get yield off on the back end. I had no clue who he was. I just figured this dude's out to take my money. So I put a little bit in, but Deployer did not rob me. He gave back whatever that was after the duration of time. So we did get a little kickback on that. He built the FAM index, which I thought was amazing. So it was DGen, Dog and Me, Chad, DMX, and TN100X. And they were kind of all bundled into an index. That one was really interesting, right? As far as ham goes. The Dolphin Talk. I don't know if you guys remember that over on Farcaster.
No. What is Dolphin Talk?
So, and it might have had a better name, but you could type in your words and then it would translate it back into a series of E's and EE's and EWKs and stuff. But it was actually, and then you could copy the Dolphin Talk and it would translate it back. That I thought was pretty fun. And that was right around the time that, Hamcaster and the SocialFi access was really kind of ramping up. Now, I think he made a very, very good pivot and move, I think, and you really got to look at, what's possible with bandwidth. And he took his time and energy and of all the cool things that he kind of experimented with and shipped on hand and TN100X and then focused over on Banker. And Banker has really evolved. I think I want to say fall in last year, we were doing Banker on Farcaster, and then he brought it over early this year. I think it was January we started testing, and it was a small group of testers. It was maybe 5 or 10 of us or something. And we were just trying to break it. And we tried really, really hard, but it just continued to get better. And, we started with just swaps, and now we're seeing, minting NFTs on the timeline. He was testing with Manifold, I saw this morning. There has been one, quite successful mint on as far as minting on the timeline with OK Computer.
Amazing.
We're bridging Sol. I'd Sol to base back and forth. He's just added Poly Network into that custodial wallet that we were playing around with. Sending, airdropping, and I think that you guys were talking on the share button, right? And getting people's eyes onto whatever it is that you're looking at. I think that this is the ultimate share button, and that is the engagement that you're able to generate through an airdrop. And it doesn't need to be you're dropping to every single head. It can be your own token, your own project, something you're trying to promote. It's anything that's on Base or Sol or Poly at this point, right? You're able to airdrop. So how you do those ones is you're typing. Oh shit, we're looking at it right now. Hey, type here. And then you quote
So
tweet.
did he just go to sleep and he's not responding now?
Oh shit. No, there.
Oh no, it is responding. There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah. So here's what's in your wallet. I've got that ETH, this native, right? It'll give you a complete rundown. You wouldn't coin a car?
Cool.
I guess you would. I'm very lacking in poly, but you know, and then there's your soul stuff too.
So,
You
so
could
what
ask it to
DeFi
do anything
protocols I
else.
can use with this? Can I use like all the protocols, or like is there like a per protocol? Like can I just like use Morpho or just say, hey, this is my ETH, put it in Morpho? Like, or is it like one-off integrations?
Yeah, where we so as far as Arrow, I have done some LP tokens with Arrow and the other piece. This was early in testing, so if we're live right now, I'm not sure, or if he's modifying that to work a little bit better. But definitely LP tokens is a goal to be able to kind of maximize the flywheel opportunity that exists.
That's amazing. So I have one question. Like, you as a like a contributor slash user slash unpaid intern at Banker, why? Like, what is the success? Like, what is the secret of success for Banker? Why is this new agentic surface is a big deal or not? Is it like a hype, or is it something like a new surface or interaction?
You know what, that's a great question. And to me, I think it goes down to like the people that were here supporting and watching Deployer for the last year and a half over on Farcaster and on X. It's a genuine human and a genuine builder that wants us all to win. So there's like the cult behind it, right? Like I know it's a cliche buzzword and such, but he's demonstrated that the trust belongs. And I think that that's very, very rare out here in the Web3 crypto space. So that's, I think, the start of it. To me, is the hiding the wires and ease of use that is so impressive with Banker. Like, I go back to like what we started with, and me trying to figure out how to mint a picture I had taken. That took me, I bet you, for like 3-4 hours. Right? I didn't know what I was doing. Then I go into like the first time that I minted something on Manifold. I didn't know what I was doing. I had to get some test net. I didn't know how to do that, and like there's everything that you have to learn, and there's all these little roadblocks. And I think every roadblock that exists is one opportunity that someone's not going to have a good experience. And I think if your first experience is not a good one, are you going to come back? Probably not. So hiding the wires and making this like just so incredibly easy is ultimately the end goal. And that's where I said like I would love that I'm just giving $100 to Banker and he can go trade for me. Right now I'm doing it. But we do have the option of like setting limit orders. So you had to be using the right wallet.
Interesting.
Dex, or you can tell Banker, hey, when this goes up 50%, sell half. When it goes up 20%, sell 20%. Whatever you want to do within that.
Yeah.
And I think that is an incredible opportunity to understand what you're doing, use the products that are here, but you're just talking to it in your native language. I'm English. I speak English and like this much French. You can speak Chinese, you can speak Korean, you can type shit. Any language. I tried the top 20 languages and Banker replies when we were trying to do
Really?
it. So yeah. It's like, so if you wanted to talk to it in your native language, please do. He might reply back to you in English, but then just say, hey, talk to me this way, MF.
Nuts.
And he does reply back to you.
Wow. Okay. That is actually very interesting. Like I'm very impressed with this new surface levels that are created, including mini apps, including agentic views. And now it's an open for all. Like if you guys have any opinions around like why mini apps or agentic views are the future, when to use those, feel free to jump in.
Not popular, and I'm sure most of these are bots, but there's the engagement.
There's more engagement with this.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I've seen a lot of people go from, literally just started on Twitter a month ago.
Hasn't one of the Jenners used Banker, if I'm not mistaken?
I'm sorry, Sam. One of the which?
Didn't one of the Jenner girls, or the mother, put like a few thousand in Banker, or was that like a meme?
No. There's been lots of people putting lots of money within and utilizing the tech for sure.
So,
the community is quite big, and they are, I don't know whether all these people are real, but if you actually go, look into some of the other, sorry if you are on the screen and you are real, but the amount of people that are actually using the product, that's why you're seeing such a huge growth over the last couple of, say, weeks, months. It's definitely showing on the cookies, kind of like the social fi of X that they're starting to roll out, which it's like Maynard, but over on X. You're seeing it dominate mind share at typically in between like 2, 3, 4 spot. You might have like Farcoin up there, Cookie or Virtuals, but beyond that, Banker has been in the 2 or 3 spot. And deployer, it's not that he doesn't have the money to go out and buy some coals or go that marketing route. It's the product's so good, you're going to use it.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair. So again, thanks for the demos. We can stop sharing,
Sure.
but like we can continue this discussion in a little bit more in depth, right? Like I want to know, like if a new person is building an app, when should they consider a mini app? When should they consider an agentic view or experience, or when they should not? So Sam, I'll ask you this first, and if anyone wants to chime in right after, feel free to do so. But when to consider what?
Well, for me, it always comes down to the user flow. Like in any like initial call with people, there's 2 questions I ask. One is what's the goal you're trying to accomplish, and 2, what's the goal the user shall accomplish. And sometimes those match, sometimes those don't. But like for Morpho, it was clear the goal is to get you to be able to deposit as quickly as possible. For Banker, the goal is clear to be like, hey, I want you in natural language to be as expressive as possible as you can to just do any on-chain action. Well, if you pick a mini app for Banker, you would put a chat in there as well because you want to use natural language. Well, you don't need the mini app if you have an agent. You could have both, but you don't need the mini app if you have an agent, or the mini app brings up more information in the screen that you can't just put in text. For Morpho,
Fair.
it's like, well, technically, yeah, you could just make Morpho an agent and be like, yeah, deposit $100 into Morpho, which Banker could do for you, but then you have to do all the wallet management and all of it. Whereas on Farcaster, there are already the people with the wallet able to quickly share it. So that's where we went the mini app route there.
Fair. So a quick question
Really
regarding your
depends.
mini app, right? Like, do you take a percentage of the funds, or that's
No,
not part of the game at all?
nope, I don't. The only thing I do is the Farcaster team gives out a few rewards to people with like the top mini apps in terms of transactions and daily active users. The Morpho app has been constantly in the top of that leaderboard since launch, basically since
Nice.
mini apps are a thing, even before. So that's been cool. Otherwise, no, I don't take any percentage or all of it. Could not doing it. What I find interesting also on the mini app theme is if you have an existing web app, then it's easy to just make it a mini app because it's literally around 3 lines of code and reading 5 minutes of my blog posts. Whereas if you want to build a full-blown agent, either you already have good APIs to hook into and the API infrastructure, or you don't, right? So if you have an existing mini web app, cool, make it a mini app, leverage the sharing. If you have APIs, maybe agent is easier. That's how we decide for clients.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And you build the Morpho app as part of like the client interaction, right? Like that's part of your agency work that you did for Morpho, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we collab with them on this. Yeah.
Perfect. Makes sense. Makes sense. Vishal, like, what do you think? Like, why did you create this as a mini app versus independent experiment? And what's your goal with this mini apps? Is it more like having fun, or is there any long-term strategy? Like, or is it just a hackathon project? How do you see this mini apps, and how should others see them as well?
Yeah, it's a good question. I definitely see it for fun. The way that I see things is like it's the easiest way to get your first 10 users. So like maybe 3 years ago, I wanted to learn Solidity and how crypto works. So I built a passion project. It was called NFT Town. It's very simple. It was like cross between Tamagotchi and Animal Crossing, where you could like mint an NFT and feed it every day, and then if you don't feed it, it gets burned. The NFT gets burned forever. I like hand drew all the drawings and everything, and it was a lot of fun. And then it's the classic builder mentality where like, okay, I put all my energy into it, like I'm gonna post it on Twitter, it's gonna go viral, and it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
And then it just died. Like I posted it, like I had barely any following, nobody liked it. I think I posted it in like a couple Telegram channels of crypto people, and nothing really happened. And it was fine. It was mostly just a passion project. But then Frames comes along, and I mess around with some ideas, and because there's a social network built into it, and it's really the friction to try it is like significantly lower, right? Like it's really just one tap. So I think of it as the best way to kind of get your first 10 on-chain users And also with Warplet, it's an incredible way to monetize. Again, I'm charging like 50 cents or 70 cents in my game, purely optional, but people are doing it every day. And so I would say if you have an idea that you want to try out, or you have a business idea you want to try out, or you want to experiment with incentives, like definitely toss it up as a mini app and see if people like it.
Amazing. So when people build this kind of app, should they consider like, hey, it's going to generate like a coffee a day kind of income, a meal a day kind of income, or is it like a passive income? Like, what do you think is the right mindset for those folks, and what mindset do you generally work with?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I don't think it's like at the level to be sustainable income. For me, this is again a side project, but I'd say of the money that I've made, it's definitely on the order of a good Starbucks coffee every day, which is like
That's
pretty
amazing.
decent, right? Like
Pretty
that's
good.
all I'm looking for, and it's kind of giving me fuel to.
Farcaster reward every day. I'm just
Well,
kidding.
yeah, and it's also giving me more incentive to build more mini apps, right? Like, and the other thing too, I think is underrated is games, right? Just like build entertaining experiences. Like, I get at least what I've learned is people are willing to pay for fun stuff, and so I think there's just like a ton of untapped opportunity there.
Absolutely.
I think
And this
what you
can
guys
grow with
saying,
the network itself, right? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Viper.
no, just the significance of a Starbucks coffee every single day might not be a lot to maybe a U.S. or Canadian citizen or someone in Europe, but there's a lot of places in the world that's a lot of money.
For sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, like, again, like Viper, I know you call yourself unpaid intern for doing work for Banker, and the reason I wanted to get you on the celebration is because what's your incentive? And again, you don't have to share everything, but like point I'm trying to make is there are lots of ways everyone can get involved. Some people can be coders, some can be yappers, some can be community managers. Some people can get paid, some people don't get paid. You definitely are on the side of not getting paid. What is the incentive, and how should new people who are joining the space should think or frame this? Like, this is not a free work that I'm doing. It's gonna pay me off when blah blah blah. So what is your thought process, and how should somebody junior to you generally should think about this?
You know, that's a great question. I probably wish I knew this when I joined, but you know, it is not.
Sorry, I like to
no,
go
it's
into
fine.
tangents.
No, it's good. It's good. It is not going to be the account with 350,000 followers that's going to give you what it is, you know, your passion project or something. Like,
Yeah.
I think people need to understand that, and you know, that's the reality. There's a business and a model for those individuals. It's probably not the ground floor that you're going to want to get in on, right? Farcaster has been incredible for signal to noise. That has been where you're able to really see the genuine people that are able to build and are doing really incredible things on the blockchain. I think, you know, just shout out to Jesse of giving you guys, and I'm not nearly as talented as anyone on the stage, but I think Jesse gave an opportunity for you guys to have a cheap option to be able to do the cool things that can happen on Ethereum. Because it was not that when I minted something for $55, like when I put it on chain. Like, I don't know how you guys could possibly be able to build anything cool, right? So with Base coming along and giving that option, there's many, many, many smart builders that people are going to be able to, I don't want to say latch onto, because that's probably not the right word, but I'm going to support the good individual that has built the coolest shit I have seen on the blockchain. That's my incentive. I have holdings. I talk about it. I have LP in there. That's where we can win together, right? Like, I don't need you to buy my bags. I don't care whether you guys buy Banker or not. People are going to use the product. That is what's going to provide the rewards. So I think, like, it's great if, like, I was in Pepe, I was in Mong, you know, like, you can have fun in memes. Like, there is a place for it. But then finding something that's going to be able to be here, there's not going to be very many memes that are going to be multi-cycle. There will be some. But the multi-cycle is going to be really, really small. So find, you know, the technology options that are going to be here for 1, 2, 5 cycles. Ship, hold as long as you can.
Wow. Okay. So I just want to like highlight what you just said in the context of like, how is it different than just pumping your own bag, right? Like, you're not saying that. You're basically saying that, hey, look, yes, I have this bag or this particularly investments, but I'm basically saying that this is the technology or this is the product that I would like to use on daily basis. And of course, I have like dollar to gain out of that if the value goes up.
Yeah.
More importantly, it's more about, I like using it, I'm talking about it. So that's what any investors or VCs, that's all the investment analysts are basically doing on Bloomberg and everywhere else. They're simply saying how awesome the usage of the product that they use on a daily basis is, and you're basically sharing the pros and cons of it. And sometimes you get the front seat of the development because now your feedback is heard more strongly. That's the same thing as having a board sit in a public company where you basically have the information or the knowledge before anyone else. You can't trade it, you don't want to trade it, but you at least have your opinions heard on the other side. So this is completely different than pumping your bags, guys. This is not like a pump and dump mindset. This is absolutely builder and yapping mindset where you're trying to focus on how can we collectively win.
Yeah, and on that, it's more of a P versus everyone versus just me hoping that you're going to buy it and I'm going to dump it before you do, right? You can have fun in that realm can be fun, and have fun in the casino if you want. But for me, the majority of my bag is somewhere that I can sleep at night. I don't wake up at 4 in the morning and check the chart. Oh, good, it went down. I can buy more.
Great advice.
That's how I look at it, right? Is find the bags that you can sleep well at night, and that I think it's might not going to be your first coin, your 10th coin, but it can come, right? And then ultimately find the good individuals that are out here building fun stuff because they're doing it out of passion. Vishal is not doing this to get a Starbucks coffee because that's going to make him rich. He's doing it because he loves it. And now I'm going to dig in deeper into what these gentlemen are doing because they're genuine out here and building fun buttons for us to press. So I appreciate it.
No, that's super, super awesome. He's looking for that fancy coffee, the $16 coffee in LA. That's the one he's aiming for. Was it Waterloo something? I forgot the name of it.
Just go to everyone.
Go
to
everyone. There you go. That one. That's why he's building more apps, so he can upgrade from like Tim Hortons to Starbucks to Erwan.
There's probably more places in the world you can live off of one Erwan like smoothie a day than there's like people who can afford it. It's crazy.
It is crazy. It is hilarious. But hey guys, like I really enjoyed this conversation, right? Like it's more like for me, it's becoming more like a therapy session when I'm just like getting my selfish questions answered from the people that I like around the ecosystem. In the context, we are coming to the end. So I just want to get like, hey, what do you think one or two things would change that would like add the multiplier or booster pack to the whole ecosystem? Like it can be a feature, it can be a product request, it could be technical request, anything that you one thing would wish that you wish to see in the ecosystem that would be like, oh yeah, if this happens, man, we are on a rocket ship to the adoption, right? So Sam, Vishal, Viper will go in that order, and then we'll close it out at the end.
Sure. Dude, for me, the one thing I'm passionate about is reducing friction. So you tried the Morpho main app after the mini app, and depending on which type of user you are, there's less friction, which you may want to pick the mini app over. And I think that applies to life, where if we're in and around Ethereum and we're able to, with agents like Banker or just fun little games like FarGuessr and then mint your score, are able to reduce friction every single day, I think that will compound, which with lower transaction fees will reduce friction to take those actions that aren't the $5,000, $50,000 volumes, right? So I just love reducing friction. If that means building better documentation, building better tooling, building better apps, enabling people to do certain things, that's what I love to see. And I think we're a few more cycles and iterations away from unlocking way more use cases. And every single day, less friction means more use cases. And that's great.
Gotcha. So when you say more like less friction, like give me an example of like a couple of less frictions that you want to see in the industry if you can.
No, just if get testnet faucets, get tested funds.
Fair.
Vishal just showed us you can get testnet funds without having 0.1 ETH on whatever stupid little mainnet chain you now want to use the testnet of, on a wallet that you don't really have. Oh, and by the way, yes, if you don't want to dox your wallets where it's like all connected to your wallets, you just want to do some stupid little test. Well, then how do you get that money to the testnet faucet without an exchange? Oh, on that exchange, well, I'm European, so anything above $1,000, if ETH were to go up, right? Like, I have to KYC for that and like sign transactions, and I have to log into this exchange. That's stupid. The other thing is, well, if you're a developer and you want to use the account abstraction tech to just not have the approve a token and then send and do all of that. Well, good luck finding good documentation and getting that UX to be smooth and there, right? Those are two, one from the
Fair.
doc side, one from the user side. I'll stop.
No, that's fair. We probably want a faucet agent now. You sold me. Vishal, let's build a faucet agent where you can just like say, give me money and we'll just give you test tokens.
Done.
I'll use the give me money agent as well, by the way. If you happen to deploy it on mainnet too, let me know.
Oh, that would be sick. But no, that's an amazing answer. Thank you so much, Sam. Vishal, what one thing would you like to change that will basically add the multiplier to the whole ecosystem?
I'm going to say two, but I'll make them quick. The first
Go
one is
ahead.
on-chain games. There's a whole autonomous worlds movement that I've kind of been following from the side for a while. I think a lot of ideas that may have not worked in the past, I think can actually be retried in the context of Farcaster and social to kind of get your first set of users and build a community. So like, I just think there's so many game modes like 0x Monaco that can be retried. And I would encourage other developers to just give it a shot. You can monetize it easily. You can get your first set of users easily. And I just think the space needs more innovation. So on-chain games, pretty excited in the context of Farcaster and Coinbase Wallet. The second one is automation. I think, so this is kind of what I work on at Magic and at Newton, but I think I'm pretty excited about 7702 being able to unlock all the EOAs that have funds on them. People don't look at their bank accounts as much as they look at their social feeds. So let's like get them out of their bank accounts essentially, set up a bunch of automations, let that run in a secure way. I think 7702 can supercharge like every single EOA that exists out there. So that's what I'm really excited about. And I guess the call to action is like, yeah, way more experimentation with all the EOAs.
What is that? 772?
7702. Yeah, you can basically like I think there's basically a lot of users that may have gotten in on the NFT bull run in 2021 that I know of personally, who like, they're not normies and they're not degens. They just like happen to have a MetaMask that is not doing much. They may have some money on it, but if you can help people like automate and make things a lot more easier, for example, I don't use Morpho a lot, and I would love to use an agent that would maybe just like help automate all that away. Every time I get some money, like just kind of deposit it on my behalf. I think that can be a huge unlock. Aside from all the the seamless UX that Sam mentioned on the user experience side, I think automations can actually help like reduce the cognitive burden of continuously using new protocols.
Super cool. Okay, yeah. I don't know much about 7702. I need to probably research, but that sounds, the way you explained it, that sounds like a good unlock for the entire ecosystem. Awesome. So Viper, tell me what one thing you want to change, and if there are multiple, that's okay too.
Yo, banker, take this $100, turn it into 200, and take 20% and roll it over into Morpho. Like that is the kind of, I think, the work path that we really need to work to. And ultimately, bankers out here, it is live. Everyone has, I think it's 6 or 10 messages, like no sign up, no nothing, free. You have that per day. Go out and use the product. You can, I think, asking it questions, you're going to get some good responses back. If you want to do like into the airdrop stuff, you can sign up to the club. It's $20. That's $20 a month or $200 a year. So that is what's giving you access to the extra stuff. And there's like a knockdown on the cost and stuff. But ultimately, go use the product. I think at the end of the day, touch the fun buttons. You're going to find the button that is fun to you. But you're going to have to press a lot of them to find it. But, there's these gentlemen are just building so much fun stuff. Like even back to how we met, Chinmay. I loved the beginning, right? It was just fun, right? And I love those kind of like entertaining things. I was sharing those. Everyone can find theirs, whatever that may be. And I think for incorporating banker, use it in your product, use it in your builds as you're going forward, because he has done this so well. Do you want to go and reinvent the wheel of all of that security? So to me, it makes more sense. If I was a builder, I would say, you know what, that works really well. It's an inch deep and a mile wide. I'm going to incorporate that into what I'm doing of X, Y, and Z.
Absolutely. Like we are shutting down the basket product, but at the same time, I think baskets inside Banker would be super cool, where you can just buy a bunch of index funds, right? So that would be super cool. But with that, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Really appreciate your insights. Really appreciate your demos. You guys are building at the forefront and sharing your insight. Super helpful. To all the viewers, what we are doing is we are celebrating 10 years of Ethereum and highlighting amazing builders, what they have been doing, how they are doing it, what's their thought process, how are they considering, is this a passive income, is this something that they want to do it for fun, is that something that career, everyone has different aspects around that, or if you want to start your own company, anything around that, like we'll basically be highlighting more builders like this. So make sure you follow the account, make sure the notification is on, because we don't have any other way for us to reach out to you for now. But soon, hopefully that will change. But with that, thank you so much for joining, everyone. Take care.
Thank you for hosting.
Thanks for
Thank you.
having us.